Selling your watch online.
So here's a few things you should know if you want to sell your watch over the internet. Here we go. Welcome back to the Timeless Watch channel, guys. As usual, before I get into anything, what am I wearing? I'm still on the Speedy, guys. 1988 tritium dial. She's a beauty. Still on this leather strap, Michael Knapp's black leather strap. Go over to his channel, Strap a Watch. He custom builds straps, absolutely gorgeous stuff. So I want to talk about selling your watch online. Last week we did buying a watch online, which comes with its own caveats, but believe you me, selling a watch online is an even more daunting task, you might say. There are more things that can go wrong and more things you should know. Before I go ahead with this, I want to tell you that, in my opinion, the authority on this, on the online watch community here on YouTube, etc., I believe to be Mr. Paul Thorpe. He was a dealer for years himself. He's no longer a dealer now. He just has his YouTube channel, talks about watches and various other fun things to do. Go over and check his channel out if you haven't already done so. You're really getting the man behind the curtain kind of information. Now, there's a lot of information to go through here, and it would take a very long video to do that, so I'm going to split this in two. In this video, I'm going to talk about the various ways you can sell your watch and the various ways you should do it. The next video, I'm actually going to talk about the various scams that people try to get away with. So let's get into the ways that you can sell your watch online.
Selling your watch online. Amazon.
Well, Amazon you should probably skip past. It's really for regular sellers, people who think they might sell a few watches a week or something, probably vendors really, although private sellers can sell on there. You do have to meet certain standards with Amazon. It really is set up for actual vendors, but anyone can set up their own little store on there and go ahead and sell. But I think if it's a once-off thing, or you think you'll sell one watch every 6 months or something like that, it's really not worth your time. Besides that, Amazon only pay out once every month, and it has to be 21 days after you've made the sale. This is their way of ensuring that the return policy is taken care of beforehand. So if you sell the watch on the 15th of the month, you're actually not going to get paid until the end of the following month. You'll be 6 weeks waiting for your money. So it's really not worth it. As well as that, Amazon does have a kind of a no questions asked return policy. So it'll be so easy for someone to buy the watch, wear it for a few weeks, and then return it. And you don't really have any recourse on that.
Chrono 24.
Well, Chrono 24 is becoming kind of the eBay of watches, if you will. It's kind of the main place for buying and selling watches, and it is specifically and only watches and watch parts and things like that. How it works is you put up your listing with photos and information. Try, of course, to make the photos both complementary to the look of the watch and nice and clear, so if there are any blemishes at all, they're clearly in the photos. You don't want a buyer seeing a scratch that wasn't in any of the photos or the description of the watch, because they might use that then against you, or just get very angry and want to return the watch. So try and make yourself completely transparent on there. That goes for all platforms, of course. Now, Chrono will want to know if you really have the watch, because some people put up a basic picture that they got from Google and they wait for the sale to happen, and then they go source the watch. It's kind of like drop shipping or something. So the way that they combat that is, just before your listing goes live, they ask you to upload photos of your watch with particular times, just random. They'll tell you, oh, show us 5 minutes past 8 and 25 minutes past 1 or something, and you have to adjust the time on the watch and take photos of that. So that's why it'll be on Chrono, and you'll see a lot of nice photos, and those last two will be kind of not so great because they were done in a hurry, probably with someone's phone, just to show that they actually have the watch in their possession. Now what's going to happen is you'll probably get a lot of offers from various people. If you do come to an agreement on a price and they go ahead and purchase, or maybe they purchase straight off at your original asking price, you won't see any money yet. It goes into an escrow account and it's kind of frozen there until you get the watch to the buyer. I would recommend using overnight shipping or second day air, expediting the shipment if possible. A few reasons for that. One is, you know that the watch is going to get there sooner and probably a safer service than using ground shipping, for example, where it can be in the back of a truck for several days. If it's gone from New York to LA, that's like 5 business days sitting in the back of a hot truck on the freeway bouncing around. It's not a very good idea. And the sooner they get the watch, the sooner you're going to get paid. So there's a couple of reasons there. I would say the primary reason though is a little peace of mind. You're not going to be able to sit comfortably until you know that watch arrived. It'll always be, nagging you in the back of your mind that that beautiful watch is somewhere out there on a truck somewhere, and that could probably drive you mad. If you pay for an expedited service, at least within a day or two, the whole thing kind of gets wrapped up, provided there aren't any issues, of course, with when the watch arrives.
eBay.
Well, this is the big one, of course. eBay is a place you can sell pretty much anything. You can sell as an auction, or you can have a buy it now option, or you can actually do both. I would say avoid the auction situation. Yes, if two people get into a bidding war, they really want that watch, you could wind up getting a very high figure for it, but it is a gamble and you could lose. I would say with the bidding thing, unless it's a very particular, strange, rare watch or something, I would say go with the buy it now option.
Should I use make an offer?
There is a way to put a make an offer button on the listing. So let's say the watch is $10,000 and it has buy it now for $10,000. Underneath you can have a make an offer button there and let people shoot some offers at you. I would recommend you don't do that. The reason why is, if there is a make an offer button, you won't get anyone just hitting buy it now. Absolutely everyone will make an offer, and people can make offers anyway. They can contact you and say they're interested in the watch and they're wondering, would you accept something less? So if they're looking to get a little bit of a discount, they can reach out to you anyway. So if you just make it easy for them to make an offer, all you'll get are lowball offers, or some kind of offer, but you won't get your asking price. You're just guaranteeing you won't get that.
What are the fees?
eBay's fees can be significant. There are actually two fees. They're divided into eBay's fees and PayPal, because PayPal are actually processing the money. PayPal is the engine under the hood of eBay, and they want their cut too. So you could wind up between the two handing over 13 or 14% of your sale. That's quite a lot if you're selling a $10,000 watch. However, if you think you're going to be selling a lot of stuff on eBay, it doesn't have to be watches, just anything over a period of time, you might want to get an eBay store set up. It doesn't cost that much. It's only like $25 a month or something. And that way you can get rates at about 4 or 5% instead. PayPal are going to take 4%, 3.5% to 4%, depending on where you are. And there's no real way around that. At least there's no safe way around that. So you're just going to have to swallow that.
Duration of the listing?
Well, on eBay, you can make it like a 3-day listing, a 5-day, a 30-day, or one that's just lasts forever until it's sold. The advantages of making a short listing is that it will come up, once you list it, it'll come up as a new item available, and as it approaches the end, let's say you do a 3-day, on that final day it'll show buyers, potential buyers, oh, this one is about to expire, get it while you can. So their algorithm kind of works that way. That's the advantage of putting a short listing. However, every time, if it doesn't sell and you have to relist it again and relist it for 3 days every time, you'll be paying like 50 cents every time you do that, and it can really add up after a while if you just continually relist the item. So you have to make a balance there. In most cases, I find with watches in particular, the listings they sit there forever until the right buyer comes along. There's no point in trying to twist people's arm in any other way. Just leave the listing up there, let it brew, and someone eventually will come along and make you an offer, or just hit buy it now.
Should I put no returns?
They can return the watch if something is wrong with the watch. If you don't ship it correctly, or there was something you left out of the description, or they decided that the watch is in worse condition than you advertised, they can say it's not as described, or it was damaged in transit, or whatever the problem is, and return the watch anyway. All you're really protecting yourself with there, with no returns, is for those guys who buy a watch, wear the watch, and then just return it willy-nilly, as they say. Putting no returns kind of says to people, look, you know what you got. I put lots of photos, detailed description about it. You already know what you're getting. However, you should know that buyers tend to purchase items that do have return policies on them. The reason why is they feel there's a certain safety net for them there, and it gives them that extra push to go ahead and hit buy it now. On top of that, when they see one listing saying returns accepted and the other saying no returns, they tend to get a little suspicious and say, well, why is that guy not accepting returns? What has he got to hide? They think that there's something going on there when they see no returns. Whereas the guy who says, yeah, returns accepted, seems more confident about the product he's selling. He doesn't seem to have a problem. Yeah, if you want to return it, no problem, go ahead. I'm confident about the watch I'm selling. And that gives people more confidence then to go ahead and buy it.
What should I put in my listing?
Well, be it Chrono, be it eBay, whatever site you're using, you want to be as transparent as possible. You want to put lots of photos and lots of information. You don't want to put up a couple of lousy photos on your listing that have poor lighting and so on. People won't trust the listing. They'll be afraid there's something that you're hiding. You want to take as many clear photos. I think eBay allows 12 photos. Also use complementary photos if you can. If it's kind of ugly light and the watch looks ugly, that won't really convince people to go ahead and buy the watch, will it? So try to make the photos as clear as possible. Any blemishes, anything wrong is, clearly illustrated in one of the photos at least, and then you mention it in the description. By the way, see photo number 11. This is the only scratch or significant scratch on the bracelet or whatnot. Once there's a lot of information and plenty of photos to stare at, the buyer will feel a lot more confident about going ahead and purchasing, and they'll have less to fall back on. If they want to return the watch, they can't say, hey, there's a scratch, I didn't know there was a scratch. You can say, well, yes, you did. It was clearly in the description, the body of the description of the watch, and in one of the photos. I made it very, very transparent. You want to remain that way.
If the buyer wants to go outside eBay?
Well, some buyers will make an offer. They'll want to get a better price on it, and they're aware that you're kind of adding to your price to accommodate that 10% that eBay are going to take from the final sale. So a lot of them will reach out and say, hey, can we do a direct deal instead of using eBay? It's tricky business because eBay do their best to block any kind of direct contact between you and the potential buyer. So they won't be able to send their email or phone number to you in the body of a message. It'll actually be blocked. And some people try to kind of spell their email in weird ways and so on to get around those things and make direct contact with the seller. It could be more dangerous to you as a seller. I would recommend you don't even reply to an email like that says, hey, can we do PayPal Direct? Because those two words are going to come up in eBay's flagging system, and there's a whole department of people who read through those to see if you're going to violate their rules or not. In the end, you can get hit with the fees anyway if they discover that you went outside and you used PayPal Direct, and you can even have your eBay account blocked. You can't sell stuff anymore. I think the first time it's like 3 days or 7 days or something. Next is a month, and after that then it's permanent. So you could wind up kind of getting in trouble with eBay if you try to do one of those outside eBay deals.
Selling on PayPal.
So PayPal, as I said in the video last week on buying watches online, PayPal is kind of the engine for eBay anyway. As long as you stick to the rules, you do everything correctly, you should be fine selling on PayPal. But again, be transparent, nice long descriptions, send them an invoice, use their invoicing system on PayPal. Lots of stuff about the watch, what it is, the price of shipping, etc. Take photos of the box, of the label, of the watch, etc. Get as much stuff as you can. If later the deal goes fine, then you can delete all that stuff off your phone or whatever. But if it doesn't go fine, you'll be happy you had it.
Someone bought my watch. What now?
Box up the watch really, really well. Solidly. You don't want to stick it just on its stand inside the display box. You want to maybe bubble wrap it and then put it inside, or if you have a separate kind of shipping case, one of those plastic shipping cases, use that and keep it separate to the actual box. And you want to pay for delivery confirmation. It's very important that you have proof that the box arrived. You don't want that box to be left outside someone's door or on the street. They won't do that if they need signature confirmation. Till they get that signature in their hands, the box is not delivered. It's only about $4 or $5 extra with most services for signature confirmation. It's well worth it. Don't try to cut that corner for the sake of $5. You could be really risking the whole transaction.
Using Craigslist or local websites.
Well, the beauty of Craigslist and localized websites like that is that it really is for the people in particular cities to sell to other people in that same city. That's the advantage with that. If you advertise something on Craigslist New York, you expect people who live in New York to look at that site, and they come and meet you in a bar or a cafe or something like that and check out the item. Now, the issue with that is you're bringing an expensive watch with you. That person could, pull out a gun and stick it to your head, or a knife or something, and say, give me the watch. It could be very, very risky. I think the smartest way of doing it, if they want to go ahead with the deal, is to say your watch is in the bank. Whether it is or not doesn't really matter. You can just tell them that it is, and we could do the whole transaction there. On top of that, if they want to do a bank transfer or something, you have them there in front of you. You can take their photo, you can look at their ID, you can do all those kind of things right there and then. Now, if they say no, or if they stop contacting you, they stop the communication right there, then you've done yourself a solid. You realize that you've scared them away. They did have ideas, funny ideas. Most sincere, genuine people won't have a problem doing the transaction in their bank. Actually, on the contrary, they'll probably be delighted to hear that you suggested that, because it's safer for them too if they're bringing a lot of cash with them. So I think that's the smart way of doing it. Now, if you don't want to do it in the bank, it's a good idea to say that you want to do it in the bank anyway, just to feel them out, see if that scares them off. In the end, if they're willing to come to the bank and they don't make up some last minute excuse or something like that, you can always call it off and say, look, let's just meet in a restaurant or cafe around the corner. It's fine. I trust you now. But by putting out the idea that you're meeting at a bank, at least you've kind of put a firewall up there, a kind of a filter for all those kind of scam artists who might have funny ideas. So there it is, guys. I hope that was helpful. I think, again, one of the most important things is to be completely transparent. Lots of photos, lots of information. Make sure the buyer knows exactly what they're getting so that there isn't any of that kind of confusion. I'm now going to move on to the various scams that are out there, the various ways that buyers can try and rip you off of your watch. So that's the next video. Link in the description below. Thanks again for watching the Timeless Watch channel.